Welcome to the College Football National Championship predictions. Here we are, the finale. It's been awesome. We went from week one of college football predictions when it was back in August or September, all the way now to January, which tomorrow we're about to find out who crowns a national champion. Before I get to the preview, I want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel. We just hit 101 subscribers. Yes, 101. The latest came in. Shout out to this person. Shout out to you. All of you, thank you so much. I know I've been working so hard for these videos. You know that I will do my best I can, my best in my ability to do these videos, to do breakdowns, predictions, thoughts of these games, and I'm really happy that we got to 101 subscribers. This is as of today, so thank you for those who have subscribed to my channel. We'll hope to get to 200 subscribers, which that's a far away. We focus on these videos one by one and see how this goes. And yep, we'll see how this will go. Let's begin the preview. So it is number 10 Miami representing the ACC, taking on the number one team in the country, the Indiana Hoosiers, representing the Big Ten. 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Indiana is a 7.5 point favorite. This will be the national championship game, and there's a lot of storylines surrounding. Of course, Miami is the first team in the FBS plus college football playoff history to play in home turf as in the national championship game. And Indiana, by the way, are trying to become the first 16-0 team since the 1893 maybe, when that team, BYU, or Yale were 16-0, and they won the national championship. So Indiana's trying to make a Cinderella, incredible story, what they have achieved this year. So key matchups we're going to be keeping an eye on. Kurt Cinetti versus Mario Cristobal. Let's break this down. Mario Cristobal, when he was hired at December 6, 2021, there was questions surrounding him. I know he was in O-line with Miami. He's played as a Hurricane. And there was questions of his play calling, his staff. How's he going to work in the ACC with this team? Can the U get them back to the 2001 U team that won the national championship? And this year is a phenomenal year for Mario Cristobal. Of course, he is part of the Nick Saban coaching tree, so we always get the coaching trees every time. So this guy is a real coach. And I'll say if they lose the national championship game, I do believe Mario Cristobal is going to get an extension to stay in Miami, and they're going to go to the portal next year with questions. Carson Beck, obviously, he's going to go to the draft next year, this upcoming draft. So could they look at a transfer quarterback? That is for the future. Right now, focus on this Indiana team and Kurt Cinetti. Go back to the year that he was hired, November 30th, 2023. The introduction press conference that all started the Cinetti era. I just went, Google me. It's the 3 words that he says, 4 words he says. And Kurt Cinetti, what a story. He is also a Coach Saban coaching tree part of that too. And what's changed since he was hired, there was questions surrounding, this Indiana program is a basketball program, by the way, just like the Tar Heels. Now is showing that they are a football program. From the worst program in FBS level to now, which essentially there's a chance that team could obviously be the best team in the country I do believe this Indiana Hoosiers with Kurt Cinetti, where this is going right now, I guarantee you Kurt Cinetti will probably win the national championship this year. So let's get to the quarterback matchup. So the quarterback matchup we're going to be seeing is Carson Beck, the guy who was transferred from Georgia to Miami, against the hometown guy, kid who was actually had a chance to get a commitment to Miami, but then essentially went to Cal, and the rest of the story went Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Trophy winner, by the way. These two quarterbacks, obviously, we all know Mendoza's ability. He's a pocket quarterback. He can be mobile. He has a good arm. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. Nobody's talked a lot about Carson Beck. Remember, Carson Beck won the national championship when he was the backup for Georgia. And his 2 years with Georgia as the starter, it wasn't the same stats that Georgia fans wanted, but that last year he had that injury on his arm, which was really brutal. Then he decides to go to Miami, which this was probably hopefully to change the team, and he managed to do that this year. And again, good arm. He has good vision. He is also a mobile quarterback. He uses his legs in the clutchest moments. And if this game comes down to Carson Beck's shoulder, it still has to come down to his legs. The other matchup we're going to look at, Indiana's O-line versus Miami's D-line. This will probably be the number one matchup we're going to be looking at. Indiana's O-line, who've been protecting Fernando Mendoza a lot, against Miami's defensive line led by pass rushers Ruben Bain Jr. and Mansour. That duo, they're going to have a lot of work against those tackles. Miami's O-line versus Indiana's D-line. This will be another great one because Miami's O-line, who's protecting Carson Beck, will get a lot of more challenges against this Indiana D-line, which, by the way, that D-line will stop the run against Mark Flecken, and we'll see how their secondary works against those receivers. Also, the play callers. You cannot forget about the play callers. I think the one we'll look at is Mike Shanahan, the Indiana offensive coordinator, versus Corey Heatherman, who is the defensive coordinator for Miami. Remember, when Corey Heatherman was hired from Minnesota, there was questions surrounding his defensive staff and how he's going to work with this defense. That defense was probably what I would call it the best defense in the country this year with what Corey Heatherman did with the team. Mike Shanahan, listen, he's done a tremendous job with Indiana. Hopefully he's a future college football coach or a future NFL offensive coordinator because, yes, he's part of, I don't know if he's part of the Shanahan family. I just know the last name is Shanahan. Next up, Shannon Dawson, the Miami offensive coordinator, versus Brian Haynes, the Hoosiers defensive coordinator. So Dawson, of course, is going to have great play calling for Carson Beck, but will those play callings work against Haynes' defense? Again, this Indiana defense has been tremendous. They dominated Alabama in the Rose Bowl. They dominated Oregon in the Peach Bowl. So can they do it against Miami? And again, Miami has some good weapons. We know Mark Flecken is going to be good. I want to see if Tony, the wide receiver from Miami, can get some explosive plays against this Hoosiers defense. So, to the prediction. This game is going to be fun. I know there's a lot of stories. Mendoza's back home. He's back in Miami where he started his football journey. But this is against a team that is not only at home, but getting to be the first team to host the national championship in their home turf, which is awesome to see it. And again, Miami has not won the national championship game since 2001. Indiana's trying to win their first ever national championship and the first 16-0 team in college football history. So, by the looks of it, I think it's going to come down to can Miami's D lines get after Fernando Mendoza? That's going to be what the game comes down to. If there's another, if there was another one, I would say, can Carson Beck make a clutch moment in the final drive against this Hoosiers defense when the game's on the line? And with that being said, I think it's going to be the Hoosiers. I think the Hoosiers are a bit too much for Miami. I just think Fernando Mendoza and Kurt Cinetti, the way they built this program from the bottom tier to now to the top, they're one step closer to winning the national championship game. I'm going to go Indiana wins it. I think it's going to be a little slow scoring game because of their both defenses are going to be tested. I'm going to go 24-20 Indiana. The Hoosiers win their first ever national championship. That's it for college football national championship predictions. If you've not seen my other videos, go check them out my channel. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more sports news.